Today's movie is not based on any fictional story. Rather, this movie is a completely based on true event, which is based on a story about the life of a little girl named Ayla during the 1950s war between North Korea and South Korea. And the name of the movie is Ayla, the Daughter of War. Its IMDB rating is 8.3 and 97% of Google users liked it. All I can say, you will have tears in your eyes after watching this movie, but that tears will not only be of sorrow, it's also of much happiness, and I requesting to you, please watch the full video. So without further ado, let's go to the main story of the movie. At the beginning of the movie, a small village in South Korea is shown. A family lived in this village and they had a little girl. Her name was Seol. She was a very cheerful and playful girl. The villagers were all having a great time, but suddenly bombs were dropped on them one after the other from the plane. The war between North and South Korea had already started, but the innocent villagers could not understand at that time. Seol's mother puts her in a safe place and says, "I will come to pick you up in a moment, you wait here for me." But the 7-year-old girl Seol had no idea that this would be the last time she would see her mother. After that, the North Korean army killed the entire villagers, and those who survived they are taking as prisoners, but the armies never found Seol. The baby girl is still waiting for her mother. She thinks that her mother will come and take her in a moment. But the innocent girl does not know that the army has killed her mother. Seol is crying and waited for her mom with a heart full of hope. Then the scene changed to Turkey. We see a Turkish soldier named Süleyman. He was going somewhere from the city by bicycle with his colleague, and then a girl named Nuran was shown. Nuran liked Süleyman a lot and Süleyman also liked Nuran, but they never told anyone about their feelings. Nuran's best friend tells her, "Many soldiers from Turkey will be sent there for the war in South Korea, maybe your loved one should go there too." Nuran was very scared after hearing this, because she never wanted her beloved man to ever participate in the war. But this fear of Nuran became reality. Army Chief Süleyman was summoned. Army Chief told Süleyman that, because of the South Korean war, they have asked Turkey for help. So many soldiers will be sent there including you. Süleyman returns home at night and tells Nuran about this matter, but Nuran refuses to let him go anyway. Nuran kept saying, "If I lose you, what will happen to me?" Süleyman explained to her, "South Korea needs Turkey a lot, and the Turkish government needs a lot of soldiers like us, so I have to go even for the country." Nuran happily bids farewell to Süleyman despite not wanting to. In the next scene, Süleyman has left for South Korea by ship with his best friend Ali. Before leaving, he wrote a letter of intent to his parents. When his parents get that letter, they are sad, but they are very proud of their son. Süleyman writes another letter to Nuran, and in this letter he first time tells Nuran of his love. In this letter he told Nuran, "I will come back very soon, and we will get married." The next scene moves to Süleyman and we see that Süleyman is a very kind-hearted person. He sees some ants, but instead of killing them he lets them eat out of his hands. Seeing that, we can understand that Süleyman doesn't want war and death, he wants people's peace. But this good mentality of Süleyman made his seniors and his comrades worry a lot, because the man who is afraid to kill a little ant, how can he kill people? Their ship arrives in South Korea and the common people of South Korea welcomed them at the port. When Süleyman and his friend were driving towards the camp, they could see were dead bodies and people crying. After arriving at the camp, a soldier told Süleyman, "America has announced this war will end very soon, and we will be able to go home very soon." But their luck was not so good. North Korean planes attacked their camp and killing many people. Süleyman realizes that this war will not stop soon. In the next scene, Süleyman and his some companions are heading towards the city in a jeep, but they are attacked by enemies on the road. Süleyman and his companions somehow manage to save their lives. They enter a forest. There they find only corpses around. Süleyman hears a child crying and they immediately go to the child, and this child was none other. This child was that little Seol. And we see Seol sitting next to her dead mother's body. That is, we understand that she found her mother's dead body and she did not leave her mom. The dead mother's body was the last refuge for the helpless child. Süleyman reaches out to Seol and Seol jumps into Süleyman's arms without realizing anything. They then return to their camp with Seol. A friend of Süleyman asks him, "Is this girl North Korean or South Korean?" Süleyman replied to him, "It is not our concern whether she is North Korean or South Korean. She is an innocent child, that is her main identity, and our duty is to take care of this innocent baby girl." Then Süleyman named the baby girl Ayla. Ayla means piece of moon, and Ayla was really like a piece of moon on the earth. This is my personal opinion, hope you will agree too. However, the scene then changes and we see General briefing soldiers. General is telling everyone that America and Turkey are supporting South Korea and China is supporting North Korea. The scene cuts to Ayla and Süleyman. Ayla now never spends a moment without Süleyman. One day the soldiers were changing their camp. They left for another camp by jeep and Ayla was also with them. On the way, Süleyman's jeep suddenly breaks down, leaving them behind. The rest of the soldiers move forward. Then suddenly some Chinese soldiers attacked them. This is the first time Süleyman decides to kill someone to save Ayla. Süleyman kills with his wits without a weapon. Hearing the sound of the blast, Süleyman's other companions also came there. At one point, a Chinese soldier almost killed a wounded Süleyman. Then one of his comrades came and killed the Chinese soldier and saved him. Süleyman survived, but he was badly injured, so he was admitted to the hospital, and the news spread all over the world that the Chinese had attacked the Turkish in South Korea. When Nuran heard this news, she was deeply worried. On the other hand, Süleyman regains consciousness and Ayla lays quietly next to him clutching his fingers. Süleyman's friends then told him, "Ayla had not slept at all since last night. She never left you for a moment. She sat silently holding your hand." Süleyman was very happy to hear this. On the other hand, it is seen that this news has reached the South Korean army chief, that a Turkish soldier is raising a South Korean child. They themselves decide that the Turkish have helped us so much, we should not take any more help from them, so we have to take care of our baby. It is then seen that Süleyman's commander has summoned Süleyman. The commander tells him, South Korean government will take responsibility for Ayla. But Süleyman refuses to give Ayla to them anyway. Then the commander told him, "South Korea will give you a Valor Medal in a few days, and you don't take Ayla to that event." After that, the day of the ceremony has arrived. Süleyman will be awarded the Medal of Valor today, but Ayla suddenly came there. Seeing Ayla's intense love for Süleyman, the Korean government decided that Ayla would stay with Süleyman until any of Ayla's relatives could be found. Everyone was very happy to hear this announcement, because Ayla was the real reason for the well-being of all the soldiers in that camp. The news of Ayla and Süleyman spread all over the world, and hearing this, Nuran is somewhat relieved because at least Süleyman is alive. But a fear also works in Nuran's mind. She knows Süleyman very well, and she knows that Süleyman can give his life for this girl. A few months passed like this. Ayla is always with Süleyman and everyone in the camp has become Ayla's friend. They all play with Ayla. Everyone in the camp forgets all the bad memories of war when they see the smile on this little girl's face. Ayla now starts thinking of Süleyman as her father. She draws a picture for Süleyman, and Süleyman realizes how much Ayla loves him. A few days later, a friend of Süleyman's told him, some people in the neighboring village were claiming Ayla as their relative. Süleyman then told his friend, "You don't tell anyone about this, I will find out about it myself." That night Süleyman went out for the purpose of that village. Actually, it was a plan of the enemy, because they knew that if Süleyman found out about this, he would definitely come to inquire. They tried to kill Süleyman, but Süleyman's friend Ali found out about it, so he quickly came there and saved Süleyman. Then the scene changes and we see, Süleyman's friend Ali was a huge fan of a singer named Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe had a concert in a nearby town and Ali wants to go to the concert. But he has duty today, so he can't go there. Then Süleyman told him, "I will bring you an autograph of Marilyn Monroe." Süleyman accompanied Ayla to the concert and he also got an autograph for Ayla. After the concert, Süleyman back at the camp and gave the autograph to his dear friend Ali, and Ali was very happy to see this. Then, suddenly he was killed there by a bullet fired by the enemy, and Süleyman lost his best friend forever. When Süleyman goes to Ali's grave, he weeps profusely for Ali, and Ayla also started crying after seeing his cry. The next scene shows that the Turkish soldiers have been in South Korea for a year, and the war is almost over. So, all the soldiers now have to slowly go back to their own homes. All the soldiers were going back and they were hugging Ayla and crying profusely, because they too would miss Ayla a lot. But Süleyman decides, he won't go back home, he'll stay here for Ayla. Old soldiers go back and some new soldiers come again. Süleyman's parents and Nuran are very sad because he did not return to his country. One day, Süleyman was sitting with Ayla while he was listening to music on the radio, and that's when he heard a song requested by Nuran. Süleyman's heart was bursting with pain after listening to the song, because he loves Nuran a lot, and he continued to tell Ayla, "If I ever go back to Turkey, I will take you back to Turkey with me." In the next scene, Süleyman meets with his senior to discuss about taking Ayla with him. Senior tells him, "It's an army camp, it's not a fun place, and as long as you are in the army, you have to follow all the rules of the army." Next, we see a Korean teacher. She wants to take responsibility for Ayla. The teacher tells Süleyman, "We have an orphanage, there are many children like Ayla and they study there." Süleyman tells her, "Ayla is not mentally ready to go there yet. I will prepare her mentally, then I will give Ayla to you." A few days pass like this and we see, Süleyman takes Ayla to the teacher. Süleyman tells Ayla, "You are grown up now, you have to go to school." Ayla sat happily in her classroom and sang the national anthem along with the rest of the students. When Süleyman and his friend were watching this scene from outside, they were very upset. There was no way they wanted to leave Ayla here. Süleyman made up his mind to return, and he continues walking. Then Ayla is seen running towards him from behind. Ayla came to Süleyman and burst into tears. She kept saying to Süleyman, "How can I survive in this world without you? I have no one else in this world except you. Dad, please don't leave me alone." Hearing this, Süleyman could no longer control himself, so he brings Ayla back to the camp. Süleyman makes a wooden box for Ayla, in which he wants to take Ayla to Turkey. He goes to board the ship with the wooden box. Then a soldier sees him and gets suspicious. He opened the box and they found Ayla inside. After some time, Süleyman was summoned to the headquarters. Süleyman is not punished, but his senior tells him, "You should go back to Turkey now." But Süleyman is honorable in his decision. He continued, "I lost my best friend Ali. I don't want to lose Ayla again." Then his senior explained to Süleyman, "You go back to Turkey for now. Come back after a few years and take Ayla with you." Süleyman thinks that the senior's words are right, so he agrees. Then the day came when Süleyman would leave Ayla. Süleyman continued to say to Ayla, "Today I promise you as a father, one day, I will definitely come to get you, and from then on we will be together forever." Ayla is a small child. She does not understand the meaning of this promise anymore. She just wants to be with Süleyman, because she has no one else in this world except Süleyman. Süleyman leaves Ayla and walks towards the ship with teary eyes, while Ayla stands there crying profusely. To be honest, tears came to my eyes when I saw Ayla's crying, because this is a completely true story and Ayla is still alive in this world. However, the scene changes in Turkey. Upon his return to Turkey, Süleyman heard a bad news. He knows that Nuran got married. Hearing this, Süleyman went directly to meet Nuran. Nuran then told him, "How long I waited for you. I didn't even know when you would return, so I got married out of compulsion, and I can never come back into your life." Saying this, Nuran leaves from there. Süleyman then decides not to stay in this town anymore. He will stay with his parents, and that is what he does. But before leaving, he marries Nuran's best friend Lily. Lily and Süleyman have been married for a long time, but Süleyman is always upset about Ayla. Seeing this condition of Süleyman, Lily is indecisive. She will help Süleyman to find Ayla. Lily continued to visit the Korean embassy again and again. Then one day, Lily and Süleyman were summoned from the Korean embassy. When they get there, the officer tells them to give up hope of finding Ayla, because Ayla is impossible to find. Because Ayla's real name was not Ayla, and the name Ayla was a Muslim name which was given by Süleyman. Süleyman is very disappointed to hear this, but Lily convinces him, "You don't get upset about it, together we will find Ayla." But they never realized that they would spend 47 years searching for Ayla. Yes, and that's how 47 years passed, and we see that Süleyman and Lily are very old. It is shown that there is a huge earthquake in Turkey, but Süleyman is not leaving the house. He is keeping the things that are connected to Ayla's memory very carefully, and it can be seen that Süleyman, till now looking for a way for Ayla. The scene changes 5 years later. The year was 2002. FIFA World Cup was happening then, and there was a match between South Korea and Japan. Süleyman was watching the game on TV. He looked for Ayla in the gallery into the TV screen. Before the eyes of the old Süleyman, the face of that little girl floated again and again. He always wondered how Ayla was now, where she was, is she alive? And in the meantime, a call from a journalist came to Lily, and the journalist told her she wanted to make a film about Ayla's life story, and she also helped Süleyman to find Ayla. Süleyman and Lily were very happy to hear this. They went to meet the journalist. Süleyman tells the journalist all the events of his life. The journalist told Süleyman, "We have found some information about Ayla's childhood. We found some of her friends, but we couldn't find Ayla." After hearing this, tears came to Süleyman's eyes. A few more days passed like this. One day, the journalist received a call from a lady. The lady claims to be Ayla. The journalist immediately went to meet the woman without telling anyone about this. The journalist shows the woman some of Ayla's childhood photos. Then the woman saw the pictures and said, "Where is my dad?" We realize this woman is none other than Ayla. This is the little girl Ayla. Then comes the most emotional scene of this movie. Year 2010, Süleyman came back to South Korea exactly 60 years later. Süleyman continued, "South Korea has changed so much. I don't know how my baby girl grew up here." Then it can be seen that Süleyman went to a park to meet Ayla. Finally that time came. Süleyman recognizes Ayla at first sight. Ayla and Süleyman hugged each other and started crying. This cry is more of happiness than pain. A father promised his daughter 60 years ago that he would take her back. 60 years have passed, but father has kept his promise. Then, some video footage of the real Ayla and Süleyman meeting in 2010 is shown. End of the movie. I have two lines to say that there is nothing in the world that cannot be achieved if the mind is willing. And the second is, you cannot become a father just by giving birth. And this is where the movie ends. So, how did you like the movie? Please let me know in the comments. And, if you like it even a little, then subscribe the channel with a like. Well everyone, goodbye like today. Thank you so much.